Dear Kevin and Jay, I'm writing a letter to both of you because you're two halves of a whole artist, persona and shadow. The first Jay and Silent Bob movie I saw was Mallrats, and I felt seen. I too would hang around a mall, annoying security guards and not buying anything. What else was I gonna do? I saw Dogma because y'all were in it. I don't think I understood that Kevin was Silent Bob until seeing the interviews after. Like, I didn't realize that was the director, was the guy who has no lines. A recent rewatch had me sobbing while laughing out loud because the movie Dogma changed my life. I was 13 years old, vaguely raised Catholic, and struggling to accept what I was being taught. I thought I was a bad person because I couldn't bring myself to believe that wine and crackers were magically changed into flesh and blood. That's not fair to a kid. My mom was a labor and delivery nurse, so I knew the horrifying tragedies that result from botched home abortions, so I was so not on board with the pro-life stance. Jay's line, "What women do with their bodies is their own fucking business," and then y'all fist bump each other. I wanted to jump up from the movie seat and shout, "Fuck yeah!" Except I was in Virginia. And I was paralyzed by just acceptance and delight, obviously. Alan Rickman's scene recounting when he had to tell 12-year-old Jesus about his fate, make it all not true, made me sympathize with the bloody man on the cross, despite my objections to the church. Chris Rock saying, "I just think it's better to have ideas. You can change an idea." Something very tightly wound around my heart unraveled. And I still feel immense relief when I think about it. Just because I couldn't believe doesn't mean I didn't have some good ideas. I don't think you guys understand how important that film is to me. To my emotional and spiritual growth, changed who I am as a person, and helped me accept myself to the core. Naughty language just made me laugh. Swearing didn't make me a bad person either. Being so creative with faith, I was reborn, and I am eternally grateful. Praise Alinus. Alinus. She's the best God. Since I've been on podcasts separately with both Kevin and with Jay, both of you, so I consider both of you artistic colleagues. One, when I was back in New York and Jay was talking about directing his first movie, and I was really impressed and proud of him, and I want to see more of his creative projects. Kevin had me on Smodcast when I was petitioning for Carrie Fisher's star. I waited in the alley behind the Star Wars bar dressed as Princess Leia, carrying my signed petition. And Kevin walked out and said, "What's this?" Delighted to see me, he immediately signed my petition and handed me a joint to smoke and hang out for a bit, then promised to put me on the next podcast to talk about the petition. That was one of the best nights of my life. I felt so accepted, so acknowledged, overjoyed that one of my favorite directors was being so cool to me. I think I mentioned to him Dogma really helped me, but I hadn't really written about it yet, so I didn't have a handle on my feelings. But one of the people who were hanging out said that he had stage 1 cancer, and I was all in white, dressed as Princess Leia, like an angel, and I just held his hand and I told him that my mom had stage 1 cancer twice, and I hope he gets better too. This was just a stranger. It was just some magical random moment that I felt the need to mention. That's what happens around artistic people sometimes. Just these beautiful artistic moments just happen. I hope he's still okay. Being on Kevin's podcast 2 weeks later was nerve-wracking, but those 3 minutes made me feel like a rock star. There's no way to express how much I appreciated that experience. Such kind validation, so rare in Hollywood. How can I make it up to you? Will you let me help write the next Jay and Silent Bob movie? Will you let me, I could play a part in it too. Asking for a job doesn't seem like much of a gift unless you consider the depth of my devotion to your art. Asking doesn't hurt. Keep being your stellar selves. Alanis be praised. Much love. Kristen Grady. P.S. I think I wrote a mean email to Kevin a few months back when I was in a bad mood. Please forgive me for what I said when I was psychotic. I wrote that this is silly. This is the last thing I wrote. I said, I'm going to be alone on Christmas. Anyone want to invite me? Worth a shot. It's fine. I am an atheist. I don't need to celebrate Christmas. Maybe I'll rewatch Dogma again and take notes.